Hey everyone, welcome to Nicole Speak the Truth. Yay! Okay, guys, so as my introduction video said, that I am an advocate for domestic violence, homeless, I said disabled, and I also meant to say rape/sexual assault victims. So I want to at least do some videos on this to show my advocacy. So first, let's start with the rape/sexual assault. Those of you who know my story, those of you who do not, I was raped as a child for the first time from 6 to 12 years old by a cousin. Whew. Then I was raped again after I beat cancer in 2009 by a family friend. Then I was sexually assaulted twice by a person I called a friend, a good friend. This happened 2020, beginning of 2021. Whew. So, as we know, a lot of us rape victims, sexual assault victims, will blame ourselves. We think it's our fault. We think we could have done something different. A lot of us believe that because of our own beliefs, and some of it is because what a lot of us was taught. And when I mean taught, whether it was directly or indirectly, of what people say. Well, if you didn't dress like that, that would never happen. If you didn't sort of turn them on, this wouldn't ever happen. If you did this, if you didn't do this, if you said this, if you didn't say that. It's like people always make it sound like it's our fault to be raped, sexually assaulted, and it's not. We forget or misunderstand how much trauma it is from being raped once, let alone lots of times. Let me start off by saying my prayers go out to anyone who was raped at all and sexually assaulted at all, but those who was raped and sexually assaulted multiple times. I don't know what it's like to be raped, sexually assaulted hundreds of times, but I know that is a lot of people's stories. Some of it is from trafficking. Some of it is from, unfortunately, being in a family that allows this generational curse to go on. Some of us, victims, we turn to prostitution not because we really want to. I think it's that trauma teaching us, well, if I automatically give it to them, they can't take it. That's like, in a way, it's like our protection mechanism, right? If I already give myself away, how can I be raped? If I never say no, how can I be raped? But let me tell you something. No matter that thought process of you trying to protect yourself, believe this. There's someone out there, even if you're giving it to them, is going to always want something you're not willing to do. And that's why sometimes prostitutes get raped, steal, and get murdered. And strippers as well. I want you to know that you are so loved. I understand that, especially when it happens to you as a child, it does something to you. One thing I've learned from not just being a rape survivor, but also watching a lot of documentaries is what I meant to say, watching documentaries, is that you learn that from your own personal experience and other people's experience that rape affects people differently. For an example, you have some rape victims/sexual assault victims who will never have sex again after they was raped and sexually assaulted. You got some rape/sexual assault victims that, let's say they was married at the time, they don't feel safe to even have sex with their husband anymore. And sometimes relationships don't work after that. There's some rape slash sexual assault victims that have sex with everyone because, like I said, it's that mind. Like if I don't say no and I just give it away, they can't take it. I won't have to go through that again. You got some rape victims that I'm honestly, because I believe if you're going to advocate, you have to tell your story so people can understand that you know what they're going through, so they won't think you're just speaking on it just to get attention, to be noted. I'm speaking in it because of what I went through and how I really want to help you. Some of us, like me, was very, very selective. Like we do not want to have sex with everybody at all. We try to be careful with who we have sex. We have sex issues. I have, even now I'm 39 years old, and I have issues with sex. I'm just speaking the truth. I can't have sex the way normal people have sex. Like when I hear other people that talked about sex, they will say, "Oh, sex makes me feel better. When I have sex, I have lower blood pressure. When I have sex, I don't stress anymore." When I had sex, it made me feel worse than I already did. It made me hate myself more. It made me feel like, why am I doing this? Now, some people might say it's because of the person you chose. Now, granted, I could sit here and tell you most of this was after my cancer, and this is ways that the sometimes when you're dead inside, it damages you, and I will speak about that in a whole different video of how sometimes our trauma could damage us in ways we cannot experience. But because this topic is strictly for this video, strictly about rape and sexual assault, I'm gonna try my best to just stick on that. But even though I was dead inside, I felt like a lot of my rape trauma was coming out. Like I don't like to be naked. Like I just want to take a shower and hurry up and put on clothes. Cause it's that vulnerability. I don't want anybody to see me that I can't do it. I really can't do it. And some women are like that. Now, I'm about to speak on something that a lot of people don't like to speak on, but women and girls are not the only people that get raped. You have boys and men that get raped too. And the thing that people don't understand is very harder for boys and men to speak on this topic. And the reason why is because, like, say for instance, if a boy or a man was, especially a man, if he was to go to the cops right now and say, "I was raped," do you know the cops will laugh at him? They will go, "Oh, I wish a woman would rape me. I wish a woman would. I'll just lay there and let them rape me." Seriously? Really? So that makes a man feel like, I can't come to you when I'm raped. And then also you gotta understand, when boys and men are raped, especially if they're raped by men or boys themselves, they feel like they have to prove they're not gay. They feel like they have to prove they're not gay. So they go out and have sex with all these women, trying to erase that moment of being abused by a man or a boy. Because in their mind, because a boy or a man raped me, that must mean I'm gay. And that's not true. Just like if a woman was raped by another, or sexually assaulted by another woman, that does not mean she's a lesbian. We cannot help who picks us as a victim to rape and sexually assault us. We have no control over that. So, but that's what I mean when it damages in ways we can't even begin to understand. So, I want to speak on this with you. Try to seek a therapist. I know that might seem hard for us because, especially in the Black community, we are very taught, why do you need a therapist? God is your therapist. You know, a lot of pastors will tell you, if you go to therapist, I mean, you don't even talk and trust to God. That is not true at all. I talk to God all the time. I trust God all the time, but I still go to my therapist. You know, I don't think God has a problem with it. That's like telling somebody, if you go to the doctor, that means you don't believe in God and Jesus is a healer. That is not true. This is what doctors were created for. You know, same thing with therapists, right? Therapy is there for a reason. I feel like I healed so much. I've grown so much because of therapy and prayers that in my support system. So see a therapist, because if you think you got it all together, I promise you, you don't. You know, just because you go through life does not mean you got it all together. You will be surprised how much we made decisions based off our traumas, especially our rape and sexual assault traumas. Sometimes we allow that to destroy how we can feel physically about sex in that person because we go back to our flashbacks about what happened to us. And sometimes we become, especially when you have a child, especially if you was raped as a child, you feel like you got to be overprotective with your child. The problem with that is we're taught that strangers are the problem, but unfortunately, in a lot of cases, it's actually your spouse that rapes your child, or a family member or a family friend that rapes your child, or the teacher. A lot of times we don't think of these people as danger, right? We love these people, we trust these people, but these are the people that mostly are doing it to us. Remember what I said. My experiences of rape, the first time was by my cousin, the second time was by a family friend, and the third time was somebody that I thought was a good friend of mine. It's all over Facebook. I was talking about how much of a good friend he is. I cannot make this stuff up. And a lot of people are raped by strangers, but we are also raped by the people that we love and trust the most, that are closest to us. And imagine how much damage that is doing to us, to know that the people that are closest to us are the ones that did this type of trauma and damage to us. So therapy is very important because it helps you realize, first and foremost, it's not our fault. We did not ask to be raped. I don't care how old you are. We did not ask for it in any capacity. We did not deserve that in any capacity. You were so loved. And I want you, even like, also, there's something else I want you to know. I forgot to mention this part. Another thing is, I don't like people asking me for sex, because it makes me feel violated, because of me being raped and sexually assaulted. Actually, I will get more about that in another video when I talk about my own personal experiences more and more. But one of the reasons, and I shouldn't say reasons because, again, that's saying it's my fault, but one of the things is the person that ended up sexually assaulting me is because he used to ask me for sex all the time. And I kept saying no because I didn't like it. I felt violated. It made me feel like that's all you wanted. That's a turn off for me. And that's a turn off for a lot of rape victims, right? We feel like we don't want you asking us for it. We don't want to be seen as a sex object because, first of all, we're already struggling. What about us was sexually attractive at 6 years old or 12-year-old or 20, So I want to tell you, first of all, when we think about rape, it's not just about sex. It's about power. It's about control. One of the things I used to ask my mom growing up, because when you see men who are super sexy and they can get any woman they want, right? And they get all these women, they could just look at a woman would throw herself out at him, right? And then you think about that one girl who said no to him. You would think, because he have all these women coming after him, he wouldn't even trip about this one girl, right? Wrong. Because he doesn't like no. Who are you to tell me no? And even though he can get all these women he wants, it's the fact that you told me no. So what do? He rapes you. So it's not just about sex. It's about control. It's about power. So I want you to know that when you think about it and you try to blame yourself and say, this is my fault. It's not. What about me was so sexually attractive? It's not really about sex. It's about power. I want something and I'm going to take it. And you have no right to tell me no, but which we do. But this is what's going on. And then also what we have to understand too, and I don't know if understand is the right word, but something we need to be aware of, but a lot of times the people that rape us, whether it's a woman or man, a lot of them was raped and molested and sexually assaulted themselves. And they do to us what was done to them. So, for an example, I believe that some people would say, the reason why I raped you because I was raped, nobody protected me. So they give this thing like, oh, all rapists was raped themselves. That's not the case all the time. There's a lot of people that have raped people and never was touched a day in their life. Again, it's about power. It's about control. Who are you to say no? They was never traumatized in any capacity. This is something that happens. But yes, we also have to acknowledge that there are some men and women who raped and sexually assaulted you and molested you because they was. But there's also men and women who did this to you because they just wanted to. They thought they was in power and they just wanted to do this. So this not technically really about you at all. This is about them doing this to you. So I want you to forgive yourself for even for a second believing you had any fault to this. It was not your fault at all. You have to give that little inner girl, that little inner boy, that grown woman, that grown man, give them a hug. Give yourself a hug. This may seem cheesy, but you'll be surprised with that hug. Whether you do it for real or you think about it and say, hug yourself. And let you know, no, you was loved, baby. You didn't deserve this. This was not your fault. I'm sorry I didn't give you or get you the help you deserved. But I want you to know you are no longer allowing this to control your life and take power over your life any longer. So I am sorry. I forgive you. You have to tell yourself this. So that way you could begin the healing journey to realize, yes, this happened to me. I don't care if it happened years ago, a day ago, months ago, weeks ago, whatever. I need you to take a moment, and whatever you do, don't let anyone tell you how long it takes to process something like this. Because we are all, as you see, this is the top of my nose. I don't want nobody to think I'm digging in my nose. It's the top of it, sometimes you get that little itch. See, sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying. Because of, again, what a lot of people give you this mindset of thinking, a lot of us think like, why do I need to take this long to process it? Because we are raped by different people. Some of us are raped by strangers. One person might take a month to recover. Another person may take years. You see the difference? It's different. We're all recovered differently for things. Never let somebody tell you how long it takes to process the hurt that was done to you and how to heal from it. All I can do is give you, all I can do is help advocate for you and say, this is what helped me. I want to see you better. I want to see you heal. So my advice to you, because this is what I want, but you will never hear me say, oh, you should have got over that months ago. You will never hear me say that, because it took me years to get over this stuff. I would never tell you that. But what I would say to you is it's okay to get help. As somebody who's an inspirational speaker and a victim myself and a survivor, I'm here to tell you, you will never hear me tell you you're putting the therapist over God. You will never hear. I will always tell you, put God first, whatever you do, and then see your therapist. Even when I go to the doctor, I told the God first, hey God, how you doing? What's up, God? How you doing today, God? How you doing? So God, here's the thing. I'm about to go to surgery. I'm about to do this procedure. I'm about to have this doctor visit. I need you to do the work, right, God? Thank you so much. And then I go, so doctor, this is what's going on. But I already told the God already. Same thing with the therapist. I already went to God first. Hey, God, let me tell you something. Today, this bothered me. I'm telling you right now, I wanted to slap that person in the face, God. I really did. I know I probably shouldn't tell you that, God, but this is what happened. That person had the nerve of the day to look at me like that and had nerve to say this to me. And I started to slap that person. But because I was like, nah, I don't believe in violence. And I didn't even slap her verbally either, because I started to tell her off. But you know what? I was like, nah, God, I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to just be like, woosah, and that's it. And then I'll go to my therapist. You know what, little therapist? This is what was going on. I really wanted to slap that person physically and verbally, but you see, I went to God first. So you can go to God first and then talk to your therapist. It's very thing, because sometimes, even though we talk to God and we know God's had this inner voice to us, sometimes hearing another actual person talk to us can really help to interact. And sometimes you think you got a friend, but sometimes our friends can be very judgmental, right? One, even if they was raped, they think they know better, right? We don't need that. Or if they never was raped, they think they know it all. No, we need somebody who's not going to be judgmental, that's not going to speak in a way that's making us feel like our voice is not heard. No, our voice is very heard. We need to feel like that. So I want you to know, and I know this video is 19 minutes long, so I did not mean, but sometimes you get into it and I really want to help. I want you to know, as an advocate, that there's so many people like me that would love to help you. But we can't help you if you don't talk to us, if you don't come to us. We want to see you better. I would never judge you. I don't care how you decided to handle your trauma. I just want you to do it in a safe way possible, because sometimes when we do things to hurt ourselves more, it just add on to the trauma and it does more damage. So for me, I would rather you come to someone like me who advocates for rape and sexual assault victims and say, listen, I was raped, I was sexually assaulted, I need help. I'm struggling with this. I'm having nightmares, or I'm feeling a certain way. I'm feeling like I want to go out and do this and do this, and then we can help you. There are hotlines out there that can help you. You can reach out to me. I will gladly help you. If you go on Google, there are websites, there are different ways to find therapists. Sometimes one therapist might not work, but other therapists will. You have to, it's like how do you say it? It's like, what's a good way to say it? It's like trying to match, right? You know how we trying to find a chemistry with somebody? It's like that, because remember, this is a person you're going to be sharing things with. It might be things you might be sharing with this person that you might not have ever shared with your own mama or your friend or somebody. So it has to be some type of trust and chemistry. So you might not get it right the first time. I was one of the fortunate ones that the first therapist I had was actually great. I loved her, as a therapist. I thought she really helped me. I will honestly say this though, okay, I need to hurry up and go. I will honestly say this too, that one of the reasons why I did not get help in the beginning of therapy is because of the transportation issue. It was hard for me to get to my appointments. I honestly didn't believe I started really getting help until COVID happened. So sometimes you might hear me say COVID saved my life. You be like, what? It's because when COVID happened, everything shut down, and now you can do your therapy sessions and your doctor's appointments on video or on talking on the phone. But before COVID, they was claiming that it was no way to do this. And again, I'll speak on that in another video. But there was no way to do that. But now because of COVID, you're able to talk on the phone and stuff. So now I was able to get way more help. Because now you talking on the phone, or doing a video, and you're really getting the help. Now there's no distractions. There's no extra trauma added to what's going on. You can really talk to this person about what you're going through, how you feel. And one thing I realized, as you talking to the therapist, you realize things that you were holding on to that you didn't even realize you was holding on to. You realize this was affecting you in a way you didn't even realize it was affecting you. You think about it, oh my God, that's why I did that, or that's why I allowed that. This was going, because now you're able to talk it out. So, just want you to know, I love you. And I am so sorry that your story has to be one of somebody who was raped and sexually assaulted and molested. I'm so sorry. If it was up to me, we would never, us women and men and girls and boys would never ever experience this, ever. I'm so sorry this happened to us. I wish there's a way to stop this completely. I wish there was more resources to help us get through this. I wish the church would do more to help us through this instead of just preaching all the time. I will speak on that in another video because there's different ways to help. I wish that we get out of the old ways thinking. There's so many things I wish that can really help us, but I just want you to know there are a lot of resources out there to really help us. We just have to look for it and be willing to accept the help, and really to accept the healing, and willing to change for the better. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that it helped you in any way and inspire you and allow you to know that it's not your fault. See you later.